Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's story is one that will stay with you long after it ends. It's about a simple question, a heartbreaking question, the kind that can stop even the toughest person in their tracks. Mom, if we eat now, will we be hungry tomorrow? Those were the words that froze a man people feared, a man known on the streets as someone you don't mess with. A Hell's Angel biker with a reputation that made strangers cross the road just to avoid him. But that day, everything changed. It was a cold evening, the kind where the wind cuts through your clothes like a blade. The sky had already turned dark, and the city lights flickered on one by one. People hurried past each other, wrapped in their own worlds, chasing warmth, comfort, and home. Outside a small, run-down convenience store, a woman stood with her young son. She looked exhausted. Her clothes were worn, her face pale from days of struggle, and her hands trembled as she held a few coins, counting them. Over and over again her son, no older than 6, clutched her hand tightly, his eyes scanning the food inside the store through the glass. Was hungry, that kind of hunger that goes beyond a missed meal, the kind that lingers, that hurts. Mom, he said softly. She looked down at him, forcing a weak smile. Yes, sweetheart. He hesitated, then asked the question that would change everything. If we eat now, will we be hungry tomorrow? The woman froze. Her smile faded, her eyes filled with tears. She tried so hard to hold back. She knelt down in front of him, brushing his messy hair aside. Why would you ask that? She whispered. The boy looked down at the coins in her hand. Because we only have a little, and I don't want you to be hungry tomorrow. Those words, so innocent, so pure, hit harder than anything, and someone nearby heard every single word. Leaning against a black motorcycle just a few feet away was a man covered in tattoos, wearing a leather jacket with a large patch on the back. His face was rough, his expression unreadable, the kind of man people avoid eye contact with. Was part of a biker group known for their toughness, their rules, their reputation. Had seen a lot in his life: fights, chaos, loyalty, betrayal, but nothing like this. The boy's words echoed in his mind. If we eat now, will we be hungry tomorrow? He clenched his jaw. Something about it didn't sit right. It dug into him in a way he couldn't explain. Tried to look away, tried to ignore it like everyone else passing by, but he couldn't, because for the first time in years, something cracked inside him. The woman stood up slowly, wiping her tears quickly before anyone could notice. We'll be okay, she told her son softly. She walked into the store with him, still holding those coins like they were everything she had, because they were. The biker watched through the glass, saw her pick up the cheapest items she could find, a small loaf of bread, a single packet of instant noodles. She hesitated at everything else. Milk, fruit, anything that cost just a little more. Her son stood quietly beside her, not asking for anything, not complaining, just watching. That silence said more than words ever could. The biker exhaled deeply, running a hand over his face. Damn, he muttered under his breath, pushed himself off the motorcycle and walked toward the store. The bell above the door rang as he stepped inside. Immediately, the atmosphere shifted. People glanced at him nervously, the cashier straightened up, even the woman stiffened slightly when she noticed him walk down the aisle slowly, his boots heavy against the floor. Stopped near the woman and her son for a moment. He said nothing, just looked at them. The boy looked up at him, wide-eyed but not afraid, just curious, and that look broke something in him completely. Cleared his throat. That all you're getting? He asked, nodding toward the bread and noodles. The woman looked unsure. Yes, it's enough, she replied quietly. Shook his head. No, it's not. She tightened her grip on the items. We're fine, she insisted, a hint of pride in her voice. Respected that. He really did, but he wasn't about to walk away. Not this time. He turned to the shelves and started grabbing things: milk, eggs, fruit, canned food, more bread, snacks, warm meal. She piled them into a basket without hesitation. Please, you don't have to, the woman started. Cut her off gently. Yeah, I do. She looked at him, confused. Why? He paused for a second. He didn't have an answer. Then he looked at the boy, because no kid should have to ask that question. He said quietly. The store went silent. The woman's eyes filled with tears again, but this time she didn't try to hide them. The boy stepped closer to her, holding her hand tighter. The biker placed the basket on the counter. Ring it all up, he told the cashier. The total came out to more than the woman could have imagined, paying without hesitation. He pulled out his wallet and covered everything. The cashier stared for a moment, surprised. Sir, are you sure? He gave a small nod. Just do it. Bags filled quickly with food, real food, enough for days, maybe longer. The woman stood there, overwhelmed. Thank you, she whispered, her voice breaking, shrugged slightly. Don't mention it. But the boy looked at him differently, like he saw something no one else did. Are you a superhero? The boy asked innocently. The biker let out a small laugh, the kind that hadn't escaped him in a long time. Nah, not even close, kid, you are to us, the boy said. That hit harder than anything swallowed. Looking away for a moment. Just take care of your mom, alright? The boy nodded seriously. Always. The biker picked up the bags and carried them outside for them loaded. Everything carefully, making sure nothing would fall. The woman stood there, still trying to process what had just happened. Why did you help us? She asked again softly. This time, he answered without hesitation, because someone should have helped a long time ago. She didn't understand what he meant, but she could see it in his eyes. There was pain there, history, something heavy. Stepped back, giving them space. Get home safe, he said. The woman nodded, holding her son close. We will, thank you, truly. They walked away slowly, the boy turning back one last time to wave. The biker raised his hand slightly in return. Then they disappeared into the night. They stood there for a long moment, staring after them. The street felt quieter somehow. Walked back to his motorcycle but didn't get on right away. Instead, he sat on the curb, elbows on his knees, staring at the ground. That question, that simple, heartbreaking question, kept echoing in his head. If we eat now, will we be hungry tomorrow? He closed his eyes because he remembered being that kid, hungry, scared, asking questions no child should ever have to ask. He remembered his own mother, struggling, trying her best with nothing. Had buried those memories deep, locked them away behind years of anger and toughness. But tonight, they came rushing back, and for the first time in years, he didn't push them away. He let himself feel it, cold, the hunger, the fear, and the kindness he wished someone had shown them back then. He exhaled slowly. Not anymore, he murmured to himself. That night changed him, not all at once, not like flipping a switch, but something shifted, something real. In the days that followed, he found himself noticing things he used to ignore. People struggling, kids going without, families barely holding on. And each time, that question came back, and each time, he did something about it. It started small: groceries for a struggling family, paying for someone's meal, helping without asking for anything in return. Word spread quietly, not about who he was, but about what he did. People started seeing him differently, not as someone to fear, but as someone who showed up when it mattered. And he didn't stop because he couldn't, because once you hear a question like that, once it breaks through all the walls you've built, you can't unhear it. Months later, on another cold evening, he rode past that same story, slowed down without thinking, and then he saw them again, the woman and her son. But this time, things were different. They looked healthier, happier. The boy was laughing, holding a small bag of snacks. The woman looked stronger, like she had found her footing. And he parked his bike and walked over. They noticed him immediately. The boy's face lit up. It's you, he shouted, running toward him. The biker smiled. Hey, kid, the woman followed, her eyes warm with recognition. We've been hoping to see you again, she said. Yeah, he replied. She nodded. Things have gotten better. I found a job, we're managing now. He felt a sense of relief he didn't expect. That's good, really good. The boy tugged at his sleeve. We're not hungry anymore, he said proudly. Those words, simple as they were, meant everything. The biker nodded slowly. That's what I like to hear. The woman reached into her bag and pulled out something small, a wrapped sandwich. It's not much, but we wanted to give you something this time. He looked at it, then at her. You don't have to, we want to, she said firmly. Hesitated, then took it. Thank you, the boy grinned. Now we helped you. The biker chuckled softly. Yeah, you did. They stood there for a moment, sharing a quiet understanding. No big speeches, no dramatic moments, just something real, something human. As they said goodbye, the boy turned back one last time. Hey, the biker looked at him. Yeah, the boy smiled. You are a superhero. This time, the biker didn't argue, just smiled back, and maybe, just maybe, he believed it a little. And that's where this story leaves. Sometimes, it's not the big things that change the world. It's a moment, a question, a choice, a decision to stop, to listen, to care, because you never know, the smallest act of kindness might be the thing that changes everything. So next time you see someone struggling, don't look away. You don't have to be perfect, you don't have to have everything figured out, just be human, because somewhere out there, a child might be asking a question that no one should ever have to answer alone. And maybe, just maybe, you can be the reason they don't have. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.